The rolling hills of Lynchburg, Tennessee. The smell of whiskey is in the air. Doesn't it smell wonderful?
Morning.
Welcome to the Everyday Pour. I'm David.
And I'm Brandy.
Today we're at the historic Jack Daniel's Distillery in Lynchburg, Tennessee. As you walk into the distillery, you're first presented the opportunity to buy a frozen Jack and Coke, and then you're just smacked in the face with history. If nothing else, the Jack Daniel's Distillery is full of historical value. The first distillery in the country, as I tell you on the tour. They're the ones been making whiskey for the longest, or at least is a registered distillery. Here is some info about Nearest Grain. Over in Shelbyville at the Nearest Grain Distillery, they do a fantastic job of telling that story, despite some of their legal troubles. Moving on here is just kind of the process of making whiskey, kind of in a short model form. And then moving next around this corner after these barrels here, you get into just some historical bottles. It's a historical collection. Just kind of tells the story of Jack through the years, through the story of his bottles. The architecture in this building is beautiful. Then, of course, we'll move on to a statue of Jack himself. And now we're going to get into the highlights of the tour. So let's go.
We're very genuine here. We show you around. We don't put anything on for show. It has shown that has turned over a good experience for people. We see over 300,000 people out here to come and visit us. And they used to be free tours. We just realized we couldn't keep up with that, and we wanted to add better experiences to you to come and visit us. I mean, hiring good lawyers is why we're able to sip whiskey on tour now. We used to not be able to. All right, this is a dry county, so they classify this as a loophole, known as an educational experience. So a quick little foundational side of things is the road that we're on now is Distillery Lane. Every drop of Jack you've ever seen or ingested in your life has come from this road. All right. Jack made a product 158 years ago. This kid that was a runaway around the age of 5 gets a hired hand opportunity on a farm, starts living and working with an enslaved family run by Reverend Dan Call. There's a great relationship on that farm. Pressure from the church starts to heat up. They don't agree with Reverend. All right, they're saying, hold on, you focus in a little too much on the whiskey making and not so much at the church. You need to have this divide now, and we're going to make you choose. It's between one or the other. All right, so he goes in route of the church and puts that still up for sale. Jack quickly jumps on it and says, I'll buy it. Let's just make an agreement. All right, I'm 13 years old. Let's find a number that fits for you, and I'm willing to pay it off. All right, he was 13 years old, and they agreed to $25. And it took Jack 3 years of labor to pay off $25. All right, so he's 16 years old. The first registered still in this country was by a boy named Jasper Newton Daniel. The world knows him as Jack Daniel. He comes back and hires his mentor and father figure, Nathan Earscreen, from that farm. And on the farm they begin. Jack creates his own recipe and starts it up.
We
do everything. The only thing we do not do here is make our own glass. So we are considered craft, but the #1 selling whiskey on planet Earth is still all these simple little steps that have put us on the map. And it's taking the wood that is given to you naturally. Here in the state of Tennessee, the most readily available wood is hard sugar maple. They're gonna spray it down with an accelerant. A petroleum-based product, gasoline or lighter fluid, is not gonna work. So we use that red can. It says whiskey for destruction. They misspelled moonshine. They'll spray it, they'll hit it with a torch, continue to spray it, fully engulfed about 1800, 2000 degrees, cooling it down with water and flipping it with that front end loader against the wall. Any chunks of wet unburned wood, they'll throw it in the back, they'll throw it in the next burn. All right. They're gonna flip and spray this thing for about an hour and a half. It takes nearly 3 hours to break this down to that 99% carbon. You could put your water through it. It's like a Brita filter. All right, put your moonshine through it. It pulls out the corn oils, the fatty acids, all right, all those bitter notes. That's the step. We'll put it in a barrel. That will add all that color and more flavor. You have your thing known as Tennessee whiskey, and I'll show you the Jack Daniel's version of that as we walk around out here.
Yummy.
So there's a story that should be told in here. It's a story of a murder weapon and a life lesson. I think it needs to be told, but I think you lay down foundation first. And this is Jack's original office. This is all original, all right? Floor, wall, safe, stove, desk, chair, all original photos and documents. Jack was in here. This room ran the business from 1880 into the 1950s, all right? That story of a murder weapon and a life lesson, it dates to these two guys here. That's Jack, and this is Lynn Motlow. Lynn Motlow was hired by Jack to run the financial side of the business. Exceptional with numbers in business, very serious about it in the community. Jack loved that about it. Jack loved selling whiskey and making it, and so the leaning him into the financial side eased a lot of pressure on Jack. He did not come from numbers and money, and so he didn't quite understand it. It helped him out. But for Jack, this relationship exists as he shows up to work first, opens up the day, last one to leave, closes everything up, and Jack can roll in any kind of time during the day. But Jack one morning decides, I'm going to Nashville. All right, I'm going to go to Nashville, I'm going to sell some whiskey, I'm going to come home, I don't want to stay the night, I got to get to work early. So he walks through the door, 1905, goes to the desk, gets the paperwork and whiskey he needs for his trip, and then he goes to the safe to get some cash for his trip. Can't get it open. All right, can't get it open. The frustration with the combination, could he have placed blame on Lim? We don't know. All right, that combination has never changed, that's what we know. So Jack likely forgot it. Hauling off and kicking the safe, clipping the corner and breaking his big left toe is something he doesn't want to admit. Gangrene has set up in it. You're suffering from blood poisoning. We have to cut your toe off now. They cut his toe, foot, and ankle off. That's the first year. The second year, they cut him below his knee. And by 1911, they had slowly cut up to his hip. Jack dies in his bed, 1911, at 61 years old, dying from complications of kicking that safe. So feel free to touch it or lean on it, but it's killed the man. So when we go through this stuff, we don't have cocktails and mixed drinks and things like that. We have whiskey, and we have 2 liqueurs at the end. The one thing that Jack was really truly against was the shot. Like, he didn't like it. It was Tennessee sipping whiskey for a reason. You should slow down, you should sip it. If you don't like it that way, we'll make it into a mint julep. That was actually Jack's drink of choice, or like an old fashioned, maybe some of those things back then. So one little sip, let it kind of coat, shocks the system. The second sip, about 3 seconds later, it's more of this like identifier. So, okay, hold on, there's something up here. And by that third sip, it's the second sip. Your palate has now kind of transformed into this accepting of this product. It's no longer shocking. But when we go through this stuff, I'm gonna be real with you, all right? Let's try it out. The far left on your tray, old number 7 is what we're gonna start with, all right? And these first 3 products, they're the exact same recipe, and all 3 will be different. So let's pick it up and smell it. Toasted oak, caramel, vanilla, banana. Those are 4 common aromas and flavors to help you out and open the door up. Toasted oak, caramel, vanilla, banana. Get that smell, get that first little sip, let it do its thing, and then give it about 3 seconds for that second one. In a bourbon world, this is considered a sweet product, all right? Yeah. I love Tennessee whiskey, I do, because of the notes that we apply to it that will balance out that sweet. That's why I love Old Number 7 over Gentleman Jack. It's not hating on Gentleman Jack. I like single barrels. I like those things. Old Number 7 has a particular spice note for some people. And some people love it, and some people hate it. All right? And that's okay. You can drink it however you want to. All right? Me, I drink it neat. All right? I like that balance. My father, on the other hand, drinks Gentleman Jack. It is that. It is Old Number 7. Instead of taking 100 to 300 barrels, whatever it might be, to be this consistent product on this Old Number 7, whatever it would take, all right, instead of putting it in that bottle, they take it and they send it back to the charcoal. So as Old Number 7, they send it back to the charcoal, and it goes through 3 more feet, 1 meter, and it comes out the bottom as Gentleman Jack, removing that spice note. All right, that barrel spice note, that rye spice, it tends to be this vanilla note that kind of shines. You're still getting Jack characteristics that I like, all right? But it's softer, it's lighter, it's approachable, it's really not lingering. On a hot summer day, it's not just Jack and Coke, it's Gentleman Jack and ginger ale. All right, so smell it and sip it, see what you think about this approach known as Gentleman Jack. Same proof and percentage, same recipe, just 3 additional feet of filtering after the barrel. So I'm going to ask favorites in a moment, but what I want to do is I want to see, could we pick up differences between those 2?
Oh, yes.
Okay, perfect. I think we're on the right track then. Instead of continuing to approach it with lighter and softer, we hit you on the other end of that Old Number 7. It's Old Number 7 defined to 1 barrel. It says it on the bottle. It's a single barrel of whiskey. They come from the top floors. Panel of master tasters have to agree. All right, it's a great thing. They go in there and they're comparing notes and they're pulling off whiskey barrels that they believe should be a single barrel select, either purchased by or just bottled up and sent to your liquor store. All right, and anybody can buy, like I said, a single barrel. It elevates the proof and percentage of alcohol as well. It's 94 proof and 47%. Toasted oak, caramel, vanilla, banana, those are there, but like 2, in my opinion, are usually kind of magnified. This thing can be sweet and forward or bold and oaky, but they're intended to be sipped on, and it creates this flavorful and balanced product as you continue to sip on it. I love it. I share it. I buy these for certain celebrations and things like that for people as gifts as well. Smell it and sip it, see what you think about the 94 proof, 47% single barrel select. It opened up the doors for me to really look at single barrel products and single cask products out there. All right, I'm gonna ask favorites. It'll help me for the 4th one. Was Old Number 7 anybody's favorite so far? Cool. I like that. Gentleman Jack. What's up? Cool. Single barrel select. What's up? All right, cool. Bonded rye. So there's a particular structure that has to be claimed to bonded. All right. 4 years in a warehouse, cut to 100 proof, federally bonded warehouse. All right, and you have to use 1 single season of grain, and you have to make your own product. So what it does is it eliminates like kind of buying and pulling and then blending and things like that. So you can't operate that way. This one's a rye though. So you're talking 80% corn, 12% barley, and 8% rye. So now 70% rye, 18% corn, and 12% barley. Now that spice note that's in Old Number 7 is attributed to a little bit of that rye, but when you're working with 70% of it, it really kind of changes the complete tone and structure and the complexity on the palate. My problem with it is when you smell a rye, it's lying to you. You're smelling a rye and it's telling your brain to tell your palate, that smells sweet, that smells floral, that smells like dry fruit. Girl, we're about to get a fruit shot. No, the hell we ain't. No, we're not. All right, your first sip is going to be right up front, and it's going to be caramel, and that's as sweet as it'll get, but it creates incredible balance for a product like this. The last one you want to do is shoot a rye, all right? So a sip up front caramel, it's going to run your jawline with peppercorn, and then it will be dry like a red wine. I find it fascinating. I love it, all right? But old fashions, Manhattans, mint juleps, as a primary ingredient is that rye whiskeys, rye bourbons, things like that. Tennessee Honey, it came out in 2011, and it just boomed, all right? It became our #2 seller, all right, behind the #1 selling whiskey in the world, all right? It's old #7, honey, blackstrap molasses. When you smell it, it smells like pancakes and syrup. This is good in lemonade, good in coffee, good on ice cream. Marinate your pork chops and chicken in it. There's options, all right? That's why this thing sells. I always encourage people to keep it in their freezer. It's a dessert sip after a meal. All right, that's how I approach it. So we do it at our house. Very similar to like the limoncello.
That's what it smells like.
It's kind of like that vibe.
This is my favorite.
The honey, I mean, it's very popular. All right, not too bad. The apple, though, for me, I'm pure honesty when it comes to these things. Like, I'm excited about the blackberry. I want to see what people's responses are on it.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
Okay. We did a blind tasting here with the Crown Blackberry.
I just did that like last night. Yes.
That's going to be on our YouTube.
To me, the apple, though, I try to explain to people, just me being true and honest with you, I love apples. All right, I love peanut butter. I like it that way. All right, I don't really like apples and whiskey. All right, it's just a weird thing for me. But when I smell it, it kind of opens up the door for me. But it tends to be my least favorite candy on planet Earth. It smells just like a green Jolly Rancher. All right, she's all offended. I'm sorry, but it's what it smells like to me. It smells just like a green Jolly Rancher.
Somebody was messing with him and they switched his honey.
Like I was tasting the honey, I'm like, I'm getting this apple thing on it. And I was like, then I hit the honey. I was like, wait.
I've had people like, I'm describing this and they're drinking on that end. You're saying banana, Matt? I'm picking up apple.
Yeah, those got switched on mine.
Oh, man.
Single barrel, rye, gentleman, old #7.
Probably single barrel rye. But I actually like the liqueurs.
I wasn't counting those.
Okay, single barrel rye. Probably the 7 and then the gentleman.
Fair.
And of course, no distillery tour is complete without dropping you into their bottle shop. The prices in here at Jack Daniel's bottle shop are what you would expect from this type of place. They're not going to be the cheapest you can find. Their single barrel select, the small bottles is $32, and the big bottles is $52.97, a few bucks more expensive than most places you would find out in the wild. It is cool though, because the bottles here, at least certain bottles, you can get etched, so you can customize them. That is a feature that you don't have if you get a bottle in the wild. They did not have any store or distillery only selections, so that's kind of unfortunate. Anytime I go into a distillery, I'm hoping to find something unique and different that I just can't find anywhere else. I do want to try this single barrel proof rye though. It's not a horrible price on that. Here's a nice little gift set. Comes with some glasses. This tin is kind of cool. Also, you can get the tin by itself for just $10. So if you've already got your bottle of Jack, you can just drop it into that tin. A liter of Jack for $35. Meh. I don't know about that. There's that tin again, and the price on that. Here's another gift set. The bottle of Jack with some rocks glasses. It's a 750 milliliter bottle. Get into some of the other stuff. Some of the smaller bottles over on this side. There's some rye selections. You can find that pretty readily available in stores. And then here's your Gentleman Jack. And these are definitely ones you can get engraved. I'm not sure, didn't pay that much attention what you can get engraved, what you can't get engraved. And then just some bottles here that are the Distillery bottles. So you get a special bottle with nothing special inside. There's the bonded and the triple mash and the bonded rye. Those are definitely cheaper out in the wild. We've had about $10 less for the triple mash that we have not tried. And then you get into the liqueurs, the honey, the apple, the fire. Those things. Again, a little bit more expensive. No blackberry in here yet. Moving over here, you have the McLaren, the special edition. And then up here, of course, is the Sinatra Select. If you know what's so special about that one, let me know, because I'm not sure about paying that much for a bottle of Jack.
Okay guys, so that has been the Jack Daniel's Distillery tour. Awesome tour, $35 a person. Our tour guide, Matt, phenomenal dude. Lots of good info, engaging, fun to talk to. I think we learned a lot. I've done this tour before, but I'm pretty sure I learned some new things. Brandy, this was her first time.
Yeah.
So
it was good, and I really liked Matt. He was a nice guy. We kind of chatted him up for a while after the tour ended, and he was a good dude.
Yeah, just lots of good info. So we know everyone that's watching this has heard of Jack. Go buy you some Jack, enjoy their product.
Take a tour.
Take a tour. So anyway, if you haven't already, remember to like and subscribe. Hit that notification button so you're notified when we post new videos. And until next time, this has been the Everyday Pour. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is what we like to call B-roll.
Coca-Cola doesn't like whiskey in their Coke. Cocaine's fine.